Hello and welcome back to the Avengers Reserve Podcast, episode 3. And I am once again, as always, delighted to be joined by sadboycare. How are you doing today, Care?
I'm alright, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I am a little bit tired.
Yeah, I can tell.
We've been basically rushing pretty much this last sort of like hour to get as much sort of content as possible, really, about Venom 2. But yeah, like other than that, I've been sound, mate. You been up to much recently?
No, not really. I mean, I went down to Philly for a day, but it was for work, it was not for fun, so.
Right. That's fair enough. Yeah, talk to me about the Venom 2 trailer. What's your sort of initial reaction?
I think it looks really cool, but I also have never watched even the first Venom, so I really don't know what is going on. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. It did seem to me like that it was quite a bit of a mishmash. And I think like we've touched on this about a lot of upcoming Marvel projects, that they are sort of aiming it more towards a sort of comic book enthusiasts, you know? And I think that's quite true in the trailer because, you know, I won't lie that even I was a little bit sort of confused by what was really going on because there was so much to divulge, and that's why it's kind of, you really have to like pick apart the small little bits that happened in this trailer and then do a bit of research if you don't know the comics.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that. I like that we're heading in that direction.
I agree. I think that it's really cool that they're, like, I feel like they always tried to stick to the comics, like, as much as possible, but, like, they're doing the most right now, and I really like that, because I've never read the comics, but I like to see, like, the way that things are meant to go, I guess, being portrayed in the films, as opposed to just being, like, the characters and like based off like the storyline being based off the comics. Like I like that they're bringing in new people from all the comics and stuff like that too.
Yeah, I think they're really just branching out, aren't they? Like it's a major point that we kind of keep talking about is that, like, you know, phases of the MCU from like 1 to 3 was absolutely amazing, but you look at the cast and, you know, the characters that they had, like we've now lost Iron Man and lost Captain America, and we need some new characters.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing the right thing by just throwing everything in there, with the potential to, you know, just to keep on including more and more characters. And it's just turning into what the MCU is, just a giant universe of all these characters, all these supers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was specifically on Venom 2, like, because I'd imagine that, you know, you kind of have that obviously different perspective, having not seen Venom. From that sort of like glimpse of seeing Tom Hardy as Venom, do you feel like he's a good fit? Because I remember at first a lot of people were kind of split.
I do. I don't really know the Venom character. Like you were kind of explaining it to me a little bit. But I do like, I think that it's a good fit. I don't know why, because I have nothing to really base it off of, but I saw him and then I like watched the trailer and I was like, okay, I can understand why he's Venom, because he fits the part somehow. I don't know what it is. It's just like a vibe about him. I don't know. But I think it's a really good fit for that role.
Yeah. I think for me, like, the sort of like staggering bit about it is that obviously if you've seen the original Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi's directed them, you know, you see that Eddie Brock, and he's like a very cool and collected guy, but you can tell that he's like a little bit sort of, I don't know, sneaky, and it just didn't quite seem quite right knowing Tom Hardy's background of film, where he's played, you know, the Cray twins in Legend, and I can't remember the guy's name, but in Lawless, like big burly men, you know what I mean? Even though he's actually, from what I remember, quite a short guy, it's a bit of an interesting role for him to really just be cast as somebody like that. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting fit. I really enjoyed the first Venom film. I'm sure when you do get around to watching it that you will love it exactly the same.
Honestly, after watching the trailer today for the second one, I'm interested. And you were like telling me bits and bobs when you were like researching stuff. So I am a lot more interested now, and I will probably watch it tonight or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like your sort of like typical superhero, anti-hero, whatever it is. It is definitely a different twist on everything, as well as the whole sort of, that I was explaining that, like, obviously the symbiote needs a host. That's essentially what Venom is.
Yeah.
It's just that it's latched onto Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Give me 2 seconds.
It's going to be interesting because
ringing.
So it's like I was just explaining to you that obviously, the Venom is a symbiote, and Eddie Brock is essentially just the host. It needs a host to latch onto.
Yeah.
And it's a alien life form as such. In the first film, you kind of see Eddie Brock sort of struggling to deal with this life-changing situation. In this trailer, so it's 1.5 years on, and it doesn't seem really. I'd imagine that you'd agree. So that first sort of opening. That Eddie Brock doesn't look like he's dealing with Venom taking control of his life very well.
Yeah, he just kind of like,
right?
He kind of looks like he's trying to like forget about it, kind of, or just like ignore it. But it's also like not something that you can ignore in the slightest. Like from just like the very opening scene of the trailer, it's like very obvious that like he's just kind of like
he's done with Venom shit. Yeah.
He's like, I'm sick of this.
That's basically what I was looking at it. He's putting signs up to remind him. He's just kind of going about his usual day, making a cup of coffee, gets chucked a load of food. Yeah. I don't know. That's what I'm going to find really interesting about this movie, because he just does look quite done. But what is kind of interesting is that it obviously then takes... what's it called? So he goes into the off-license, the shop where you see Mrs. Cheng, and he says hello. And Venom is obviously there. That's kind of like a little bit different. And the thing that is most important to point out in this very small scene, I didn't think that you would have picked this up.
Probably not.
There's a point where he's walking towards Mrs. Cheng. Venom's tentacle, I suppose we'll call it.
Yeah.
Comes out and flips a comic or something like that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
On that comic, Stan Lee actually makes a cameo.
Really? Hold on.
Yeah.
I have the trailer up. I'm gonna look at that right now.
So I absolutely love that. I love that Stan Lee is still making cameos. It really makes me wonder if he's made any more. It is quite hard to see because obviously it's...
Oh my god, yeah.
You have to like blow it up.
Yeah.
Right?
I just looked back at it. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Absolutely love seeing that. So yeah, I love that, Stan Lee has made a cameo.
Yeah.
Still making them beyond the grave. Absolutely love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Eddie Brock is kind of like dealing with things. And that scene kind of looked a little bit more sort of relaxed environment, was just kind of walking around. Oh yeah, he's fine with Venom sort of reaching out, and I think he says that Venom says hi to Mrs. Cheng. So he does seem a little bit better and seems to just be dealing with it day by day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been interesting. Next thing was obviously where we get to see the Daily Bugle. Now the logo is exactly the same as in Venom as Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films.
I did notice that.
Exactly the same when the cop opens it, right?
I did notice that.
So
yeah.
I really, really like that. What you can also take away from that is the headline. Although it's very difficult to see, you can really only see a few letters, but what you can kind of make of it is that it looks kind of like Avengers, and then to me it kind of looked like it was trying to say Nightmare. So there's a lot of theories going around now that the headline could indicate a sort of confrontation between the Avengers and Nightmare. Nightmare, as we kind of briefly looked at him, is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
I think it would be a very welcome addition to the MCU.
Yeah.
But obviously the whole tying it in with Ghost Rider and Doctor Strange, I think that could be, potential to see it in Doctor Strange 2, right?
Yeah. That's interesting.
Have you?
I can see that.
Have you seen Ghost Rider?
No.
Okay. Like, I mean, it is one that is very old now, but
yeah.
I do kind of wonder if it's the potential to sort of reboot it, as it were.
Yeah.
Could come about. And it would be an interesting one. Again, it's sort of like very similar character to Venom. Plays a kind of like bad guy and is taken over by a demonic soul or something like that, I think Ghost Rider is. But yeah, the Daily Bugle logo, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I love that they're sort of tying everything together now. And it seems like every week that we're kind of being geared up more and more for Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah. I feel like every single week we talk about how, like, something's gonna lead back to that film. Like, every week we're like, oh, this could tie into that one. Because the thing is, too, like, when the multiverse is in the title of a film, like, there's so many possibilities for what they could bring in. You know?
Yeah, that's...
And also, like, it's kind of, like, interesting that the Daily Bugle had, like, it has the same logo here, and it has the same, not announcer, but, like, the same guy who, like, announces the video of Spider-Man's identity in Far From Home, as in the original trilogy as well.
Okay.
So, like, it's interesting to see, like, different, I don't know how to say it, like, different, incarnations, I guess, of the same, like, news agency across, like, three different, what we assume is 3 different universes or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, oh no, I absolutely love it. And, you know, it's like you were saying, that sort of anything that was outside, like, the Avengers and things like that, like, you tend to just have not watched it. It's great that now everything's being brought together, and I think it just will be brought together when it comes to Doctor Strange 2. I just cannot wait for that film. I want it to come out right now.
We thought it was supposed to be November.
It's going to be incredible.
Which makes me sad, because I want it in November.
Yeah, that is a sad sort of thing. But yeah, I feel like, look, nothing's really confirmed other than Spider-Man and Doc Ock. So yeah, we will just literally have to wait and see. But my God, like, it really could just be an incredible film where everything comes out to play. But yeah, Stephen Graham, I don't know if you know much of his acting work, because actually I'm not sure if he's British or Irish, but he's from these parts. And he's an actor that I absolutely love. Like, he was in things like This Is England. That's really where I sort of got to see him make his mark in the acting world. So yeah, that's quite a nice touch for me. He obviously plays the cop. Did obviously a little bit of research into this cop. The cop is named Mulligan. Now, Mulligan is the first host of the symbiote Toxin.
Okay.
So
but he's
I think as well as Carnage,
the host right now, or we don't know.
No. I mean, yeah, we don't know, but I would assume that they're going to kind of tie in Toxin to make an appearance somehow. Maybe it'll be a post-credit scene or whatever. But, you know, usually when we've talked about these things for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and talks about WandaVision in the past, like, usually these things do tend to come true when they're included in a very specific character.
Interesting.
Although saying that, we're still waiting to find out about Torres.
Yeah.
But yeah, Toxin. Be an interesting move if that does happen.
Yeah. It'd be kind of like, I mean, I obviously don't know the character, but, like, him being a cop, I'm assuming he doesn't really like what Venom does, and then he becomes like Venom. Like, I feel like that would be a really interesting character arc for that. I feel like that would be really cool to watch.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I just can't wait to look forward to what they're going to do with that. And even still, like with US Agent as one that we've talked about, is how they gear up the character, not just for the series, but for other potential, you know, movie series, whatever it is, just the MCU as a whole. And I think they're going to do a similar job with Toxin. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that 100%. Okay, so we also get the a very sneak peek of the Ravencroft Institute. Which is obviously a mental institute for superhuman criminals like Shriek. As well as that, it's actually, in the comics, it is Carnage's birthplace.
Okay.
So I love that, once again, it's just becoming more and more comic specific, personally.
I've never seen the X-Men films, but I've seen bits of them. Like, I saw, like, the Quicksilver scenes from like both of them, where he like slows down time and like does all that stuff and saves all those people. That's not the same place from one of those, is it? It looks very similar to me. I don't know if it's the same place. I looked at that, I saw that, and I was like, that looks familiar, and that was the only place that I could think of what it is. But I don't think it just looks similar to me. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's more because it's like superhuman criminals. So I don't know if we've actually seen it in the MCU yet. But yeah, anyway, I mean, look,
sorry. That was just the one thing. It's a nice little
thing to drop in. No, but like it could very well be. I'm not entirely too sure.
I think the other one was a school, so I don't think it is. But I saw that building and I was like, that looks like the same thing from the X-Men.
Do you mean the Charles Xavier School?
Yeah, it's not the same.
Okay, no. Anyway.
Sorry.
Great to kind of have the Ravencroft Institute.
I don't know. It looked the same, and I've never seen either of them, so I was like, I don't know. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of it. Obviously, like I mentioned, that it's got like superhuman criminals like Shriek. I'm pretty sure that the next kind of shot that it switches to, you get a very brief look at what I believe is Shriek. So I think there's just another appearance that's going to come out in Venom 2.
Oh, the woman in the bed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she does look very similar to... at first, I thought she looked very similar to... I've forgotten her name. The girl that's in Ant-Man 2. Who can, like, phase through objects.
No.
No?
I don't think so. Also, wait, didn't she die? Did she die? I don't remember. Ant-Man 2 is not my specialty.
Yeah. There's so much MCU that my brain just like switches off sometimes when I'm like, oh, did this happen to this very specific person? I'm like,
I have no idea.
I couldn't tell you.
I don't think
it doesn't. I think what's his name? Hope's mum, the original Wasp. I think she was able to help her.
Okay.
Or at least that was the aim. She said that she was going to be able to help her. So
yeah, I don't think it's the same person.
I think that's what happened there.
They don't look similar.
No,
to me,
like I think it's Shriek.
Yeah,
I think it's very much more likely to be Shriek, but I look forward to that addition. I think it would be very interesting. Obviously, this film is going to be a lot more about Carnage as well, and we see the sort of like process that Carnage goes through to basically become Carnage. Woody Harrelson, I think, is an absolutely fantastic pick. I cannot wait to see him in the MCU. But that whole little process where they show little snapshots of him being injected with the symbiote, it's very comic book accurate. Very comic book accurate. Yeah. So yeah, I just cannot wait for that.
So
what do you make of Woody Harrelson though?
I like he's gonna be like the villain, right?
Yeah.
I like that. I'm excited to see that. But okay, wait. So this is where my lack of knowledge about these things comes in. When Venom met him in the post-credit scene, because you made me watch that before we started. He wasn't Carnage yet.
No.
Okay. So he becomes Carnage in this film.
I believe so. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the way that they're going to go about it. Like I said, it's his birthplace as becoming Carnage. I don't know too much about the symbiote. Or the thing that he gets injected with, what kind of effect that it's going to have on him. But I just know there's a lot of people who absolutely love the Carnage character. I think it's going to be a crazy ride. But Woody Harrelson is I think him as a very sort of sinister character is just going to be absolutely mind-blowing. I cannot wait for it. Absolutely cannot wait.
I love him. Everything he does, I love. So I'm excited to see what they do with that. I'm really excited.
Yeah, definitely. That was pretty much all I really managed to gather. I mean, as say, that's all I managed to gather. But the trailer as a whole, I think there still is a lot more really to kind of like pick apart. But that's pretty much the main things that I spotted.
Yeah.
And look, like that trailer was 2 minutes long?
Yeah.
I love that we've been able to take that much away from a trailer. So yeah, it's a good little sneak peek.
I'm excited. I'm actually gonna watch Venom tonight. I'm gonna do it.
Yay, we've turned her.
Oh god. Yeah. It's like I was telling you before we started recording, like I never saw like the need to watch any of the films that didn't lead back to the Avengers films. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think with the multiverse happening, there's so much potential for like anything to come in where I just need to watch everything now. And I'm like so behind now because I haven't watched any of the Sony or like anything that was like not really connected to our MCU that we know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
no, it is good that it is all sort of coming together. I just can't wait. Like, I love doing these trailer breakdowns as well because there literally is so much more to look. So did you manage to find a trailer for the Eternals at all? Because I thought I was going crazy. I could have sworn I saw news, but
okay, so I looked up like Eternals and like it said official trailer, but it was just like some fan edit of like all the Marvel.
That's what I came across. Yeah,
and I was like, what is this? And the thing is, though, I saw so many videos of people, like, breaking down a trailer, so I don't know if they, like, put it out for, like, an hour, and then they, like, took it away. Like, I don't know what... I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no idea what's going on with that.
I'm so confused by it.
I could not find anything.
It's like
anything legit.
It's like I said, though, like, well, I saw exactly the same, like, breakdowns of a trailer, and I was like, I'll watch the trailer, and I probably should have saved the link that it was to, unless it was like a leaked trailer or something. But yeah, I just thought it was a bit bizarre that especially the trailers that are out there, because there is some footage of the Eternals. Just think it's a bit naff what they've put out, really, and I think they really should be gearing it up a little bit more, because that's out
when is that one coming out?
That's coming out later this year, I'm pretty sure. So like they're running out of time.
That's the November slot, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, November 5th.
Yeah, you got Black Widow in August, and then... Yeah.
Well, I mean... I guess it makes sense. We don't have a No Way Home trailer yet, right?
No, but No Way Home was kind of a quick turnover, I thought. A lot of radio silence, and then it was like, let's get another Spider-Man film out, because it's Spider-Man, like, it makes a lot of money, you know? The Eternals, like, I feel like there's going to be a lot of fans that aren't too aware of who the Eternals are.
Yeah. I just gotta... I literally have never looked at the cast list. I didn't know Millie Bobby Brown was going to be in it.
Oh, I didn't know either. I've looked at the cast list, but yeah. Because I know that Angelina Jolie is going to be in it. That should be a good mix.
I think that they're probably putting out trailers in order of when the films are coming out. Which, duh. Like,
yeah.
So they just did Shang-Chi. I think they'll probably wait a couple weeks and then do the Eternals.
Yeah, that's probably about right, yeah. If they've done Venom as well, because that'll be out later this year. Yeah.
Because Shang-Chi's September, and Eternals is until November, so I think they'll probably wait a little bit. They'll probably wait until...
We'll probably do next week's episode with the Eternals trailer ready to sort of like break down.
Maybe. I was thinking it might be after, I guess, Loki, because Loki's before Black Widow. Like, after Loki's first episode, then they'll put it out.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. At the moment, there's literally something happening every week with the MCU.
There's so much, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's good. Like, it's actually given us things to talk about, because I think we said in the last episode, like, we really didn't know.
We were so worried.
Yeah, we really didn't know what we were going to talk about every single week, but no, absolutely love it. And yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see what there is to talk about next week, whether it will be just theories and news and trailers potentially. But yeah, so that is pretty much the end of the episode. So thank you all for watching or listening. I do tend to forget about the Spotify listeners.
Yeah.
Honestly, completely grateful for that, because there is a fair bit of movement, a fair bit of traction on Spotify, and just audio devices in general. It's really good. But yeah, be sure to leave a like, comment something down below, and yeah, subscribe if you're new. You can also check out Care's channel, be in the description. There's also going to be an annotation somewhere on the screen right now where you can click on that. And yeah, we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.